Welcome to Fancy Legends. My name's Scott and it's time to get that tinfoil hat on as we look at another fan theory. Today we're looking at, is Genova the same species as Lavos from Chrono Trigger? Before we get started with the theory, I'd ask if you could like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help me out. Now let's get on with the video. Even though we don't know much about the backstories of either Lavos or Genova, we do know that they both travel from planet to planet, destroying the life forms that inhabit it. But why do they do this? Well, it explains that they both do this for subsistence, and it is seemingly how they breed and feed. With Lavos, it buried itself deep beneath the crust of the planet and began draining the energy. Lavos then absorbed the information of the DNA of the living beings on the planet in order to add it to its potential offspring. At the end goal of its plan, it would burst forth from the ground and annihilate as many life forms as it could with an apocalyptic attack before continuing on to other planets to absorb them too. Genova's plan is slightly vaguer than Lavos's, however it is very similar in nature. She is planning to use the planet as a vessel to travel through the cosmos. When she arrived on the planet, she used her shape-shifting abilities to become one of the Centra. She used this in order to spread a virus among their DNA, so she could take over the living beings and turn them into monsters. Unlike Lavos, Genova was defeated by the Centra before she could wipe out all life on the planet, and she is likely would have been stopped by the weapon monsters before she could have departed into space. It took the intervention of time travellers to stop Lavos, however, as Chrono Trigger lacked the defenders to protect itself from an alien invader. This does not mean that they are different in nature, as this shows that unless the planet has a defence system, both could have done very similar things. So what we know so far is that both creatures are alien and use the planets that they inhabit as subsistence. Also, another thing that connects the two is that the final form of Genova that the players face in Final Fantasy VII, Genova Synthesis, has a spiky back that resembles Lavos' shell. One thing that could debunk that both creatures are connected is the fact that both games share development at the same time. Not just the shared development as well, Katase worked on both of the games, as well as Masato Kato worked as a writer on both of them. However, recently we do have more information that the creatures could be linked, and this adds more weight to the theory. For starters, Lavos reappeared in a new form in Chrono Cross. Though we do not know any more about his origins, once Lavos was defeated in Chrono Trigger, it was sent to the darkness beyond time, which is a place where all nullified timelines are sent to. Lavos found Scala there, and the two joined together to become the Time Devourer, which then threatened all of reality. It was also revealed in the Chrono Trigger DS version that Lavos and Scala were temporarily bonded together as a creature called the Dream Devourer. In the newest version of Final Fantasy that we have, Final Fantasy VII Remake, the player does not really learn much more new information about Genova either, but the new information that we do get is that we get a new version of her that we fight in Shinra headquarters. This version is actually called Genova Dreamweaver. If we use the assess ability on the creature, it reveals that it has the power to induce hallucinations. And is it possible that Genova Dreamweaver is meant to be a reference to the Dream Devourer? The fact that Final Fantasy VII has started to add time travel onto their timeline as well adds more credence to the fact that Genova and Lavos could be connected. What do you guys think? Is it plausible? Let me know in the comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for listening.